Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let me know in the chat box if you can hear me okay, because I don't want to continue and waste your time if for some reason you can't hear me. So if you could let me know right now, that would be awesome. Looks like there's not very many of you in the chat room, so you're going to have to be brave. If you are in here, just somebody post and say they can hear me. There's a chat box on the side. Okay, so I need somebody to say that they can hear me. All right, well, everybody's just a little shy today. Bummer, since I don't know if you can hear me. So please pipe in if you can't hear me. I trust that somebody will eventually speak up. So welcome, my name is Jess Tomlinson, and this is one of the Bliss bonuses to the Awaken Your Bali Bliss experience, which is a 9-day virtual experience that I created for us to wake up our senses, to get into that Bali inspired mode in our life where we are actually following our bliss and, most importantly, discovering what bliss means to us. Right? What does it actually mean to follow your bliss? It's such a famous phrase by Joseph Campbell, and we might not really know what that means in our life. I know I'm always reevaluating that. So my intention for the Awaken Your Bali Bliss program is that it guides you deeper into discovering your own bliss, using the inspiration that I brought back from my women's retreat that I lead called the Radiance Recharge, which is in Bali. So I did it last year. I'm bringing all these juicy lessons back for you, and I'm also doing a retreat again this year at the end of April. If you're interested in that, you can look at theradiancerecharge.com. So today, the Bliss bonus, we're on day 2 of Awaken Your Bali Bliss. If you stumbled upon this webinar through social media, you're gonna wanna go and sign up for the entire experience. So this is just a small part. If you go to bit.ly/awaken bliss, you'll make sure to get on the email list so you get the daily emails that I'm sending, which will include a core focused feeling for the day to awaken your bliss, and then a visualization. I've been having a lot of fun doing these daily visualizations to take you deeper into awakening that bliss inside of you. And each daily visualization corresponds to the core focus feeling for the day. So pretty fun, only takes about 10 minutes of your day. And you get to dedicate some time just to you. So you can actually put bliss over busy. All right, so I'm just gonna check and see. Okay, so still not that many people in the webinar room. That's cool. I am grateful for those of you who are here, and I want to hear from you. So I know you might be a little shy since nobody was willing to tell me if they could hear me, but I'd love to know your name and where you live. So chime into the chat box and please do let me know. One of the things that's really important about our self-care, about awakening our bliss, putting bliss over busy, me time, is connecting in community. And that means showing up. So you showed up here today, you're taking part in this webinar, and when we show up, first of all for ourselves, but then in community, it creates this dynamic of acceptance amongst us as women where we get to support each other in the really tough stuff. Like, how do I find time? I'm feeling guilty about taking time for myself because I truly believe it's our responsibility as women to remind ourselves that we're worth it. And that is exactly what today's webinar is all about. We are creating your bliss mantra. And the reason why this is so important, the reason why I created this webinar for you as part of the Awaken Your Bali Bliss program is because we forget that we are worth it, that we deserve to feel bliss. So by creating your unique mantra that'll be personal just for you, that's going to be a positive affirmation that you can use each and every day throughout this program, and hopefully beyond when the program ends, to remind yourself that you deserve bliss. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing today, is walking you through a few steps, really simple but deep, meaningful steps for us to uncover what your unique bliss mantra is, and then you'll have something fun to take away from today. So this is a play shop. I like to be interactive. I like to, I've got my tea, which is part of my bliss, part of my me time. And I was just checking to see who else is on the webinar. All right, cool. So this is just going to be our tiny little group today, which is totally fine. Everything is perfect. And I believe that when you do show up and you're one of the few, that's actually a big sign that you are ready to awaken your bliss. All right. So, just a little bit more about me if this is the first time that we're meeting. Like I said, my name is Jess Tomlinson, and I am a radiant self-care coach, which basically means that I teach women how to use self-care as a platform to experience greater success, meaningful success in their own lives. So I like to bridge the gap between self-care and meaningful success by showing women and supporting women in what it looks like to put yourself first, and then how that opens up to flow and ease when you are going after your big, meaningful dreams. It just makes it so much more blissful when we are starting from a place where our own cup is full. I like to break the rules of society. So I say shed the shoulds. If you've been part of the experience so far, the first day one of Awaken Your Bali Bliss was release. So that's all about shedding all these shoulds that we have in our life, right? So I truly believe that when we are able to break away from society's expectations, our own harmful self-expectations that are holding us back from what we really, really want in life, that's where the magic happens. That's when we can discover our own desires, our own bliss. What does that mean in our life? And that starts to emerge because all of a sudden we aren't so worried about what everybody else is thinking, right? Or what the standard is. So that's a little bit about me. I've had my own self-care journey where I am a very typical giver, people pleaser. I've come a long way, but that's still who I am, just at the core, and that's why we need support, right? In community, from mentors, coaches. So that is my wish, is to bring you my wisdom of how I've been able to move through being a people pleaser, being so worried about what everybody thinks, doing for everybody else, and focus on me, and how, in fact, it does not feel selfish. It feels really nurturing, and how everybody around you benefits when you start doing that. I just recently quit my corporate job, I guess recently, like 6 months ago, which is so crazy. July 31st, I left my corporate job. I'd been doing that job, which I adored. I got to do a really awesome job for an airline where I was the manager of culture and engagement, so company culture, and think like videos to the employees, and emails and programs, just the fun stuff. But it wasn't filling me up. So I'd been doing both that corporate job and my coaching at the same time for 2 years. And it was time to just completely fill my cup. So I am in this new transition of what it really means in my own self-care to be a business owner. And it's very different. what else about me do I feel like sharing? Let me know too in the chat box if you have any questions, if you want to get to know me. I'm pretty much an open book. I just had my birthday, got back from Sedona. That was really fun. I just turned 32, so feels like a special birthday for me for some reason. I don't know why. What else? I've got 2 little doggies. I live in Las Vegas. I love wine. I love dark chocolate. I love singing and dancing like crazy and poetry. I'm a pretty like deep, raw person. I like to talk about all the feelings. So that's another thing of why I created Awaken Your Bali Bliss, is so that you can get in touch with your own senses. When we were in Bali last year for the retreat, just the way it looked, the beautiful island and the smells of the frangipani flowers and the crash of the waves, and just like the feel of the air and the sun on our face and just everything, right? Like I'm a very sensory person. So I hope you enjoy, as part of the Awaken Your Bali Bliss experience, that sensory experience like I do. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? So yeah, if you have not signed up for the entire experience, make sure to go to bit.ly/awakenbliss. Make sure to also listen to the replay of last night's call that I did, which was going over the free download that you get when you sign up, which is the Blissful Checklist to Banish Busy. So I show you, don't think I'm crazy, this is totally serious. I show you how to find at least 2 hours of extra time in your busy schedule without feeling like you have to rearrange your life and without you feeling guilty about taking that time. So I went through the entire checklist, how to make the most of it last night on that call. So there is a replay. I'll make sure to include that in future emails too, so you have an easy link to watch. What else? There is a Facebook group. Once you join the experience, you can type it into the search bar and click join. It's the Me Time Movement. So that's where we're gathering in community. That is what I'm so passionate about, is bringing women together with the message that me time matters. So you get to be part of that community. If you haven't already, make sure to join. I think those are the main things. So I would still love to hear from you guys. I know you're not chiming in the chat box, but if you feel inspired, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm just gonna roll my neck because that's what feels blissful for me right now. So I encourage you during this time together to take care of your own needs. You know, like, do you need to get up and go to the bathroom? Do you need to grab a cup of tea? Do you want to stretch? Do you want to lay down? Like, how can you make yourself a little bit more comfortable? That is awakening your bliss. Okay, so let's get into today. We are creating your bliss mantra. And how do you do that? So again, I just want to reiterate that the reason why this mantra is going to be so important for you in this journey of awakening your bliss is because we oftentimes tell ourselves that we are not worthy of bliss. So in last night's call, I was talking about all the things that keep us from prioritizing putting bliss over busy. And one of them is that society, we've been conditioned to value achievements over feeling. So doing over being, right? And being, just a state of being, is where we get to open up and experience bliss. It's in those moments of spaciousness that we actually get time to feel, what do we want? What does following my bliss look like? And if we don't take those moments, if we don't prioritize bliss, and we're so busy trying to achieve, do, we won't be able to experience bliss in the capacity that we are able to. It's truly a gift. When you really develop this skill, it's truly a gift. So one of the tools that's going to help you get there is knowing that you are worthy to receive that bliss. That just being you and being without doing something is good enough. okay? But we need reminders of this, right? I know I do. I do all the time. Even creating this program, I was, going through my mind like, oh man, it would really feel good to, go get a massage right now or take a nap, but I should be doing this. I should be working hard, right? Like achieve, achieve, achieve. I had a big goal of getting 300 people into this program because I feel like it's the best thing that I've ever created. I want to share it with everybody. And I didn't get there, but my tendency was to keep pushing and doing and doing. And until I actually gave myself permission to know that it's okay, that I didn't do more, that I did what I could while still prioritizing my bliss, that actually that in itself is pretty freaking amazing. That I didn't push myself over the edge into this mode of I'm not worthy unless I get those 300 people. You see what I mean? So the worthiness factor is really big. We think that we have to do something to receive something. Well, I would challenge that and say in radiant self-care, in awakening your bliss, it's actually more productive to do the opposite. To first open yourself up to receive, to fill your own cup. Then you can share that cup with someone else and they can drink from the well, right? Because you've allowed yourself to know that you're worthy to receive first and to know that that's going to benefit other people. Okay, so this isn't about what society subscribes to as selfish. And I would actually argue the definition of selfish actually just means being of yourself, which is a beautiful thing. And I get that as a society, we define selfish as quote unquote bad, right? So this is about you putting yourself first, but then sharing that love with those you love. Okay? So that's what creating your bliss mantra is going to help you do. I'm really excited to share with you this process that I created for myself, and I think it's going to be really powerful for you too. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do, and if you have a journal, I know I didn't tell you to bring a journal, but if you have a journal or a piece of paper nearby, or if you just want to think about this, it'll be easier if you have a piece of paper. So if you got to go, get up, bring a piece of paper back. You can always watch this on the replay. I'm going to be sending the replay out. So the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at the areas of your life where you are not feeling bliss. Okay, sometimes it's a lot easier to start here rather than going straight to how do I want to feel. Okay, I notice this in my clients, like it's a little bit of a easing in because we're unfortunately where our minds naturally go is what's wrong, right? Like we're in the busy mode, we're in the do. We're really good at seeing what we don't want. And then from there, what I'm going to guide you to is taking that and then turning it to what you do want. And that's where we'll create this mantra that'll support you in affirming what you do want so that you can awaken your bliss in a positive, affirmative way each day. Okay, so to keep it simple, I normally break the areas of our life down in 9 different areas, because I think it's important to do that. But we don't have time and I want to keep it simple. So for us today, I categorized it into what I think are the 3 most important areas of your life. So write these down. The first one is purpose. So your purpose. This could be your career, your job, what you're doing in the world, like your work, right? Like how are you in the world? So that's the first one, your purpose. The second one is relationships. So relationships could be your romantic relationship, could be the relationship you have with your friends, the relationship you have with your family. So any kind of relationship, let's look at that area. That's number 2. And then the third and final area is your health. So you might want to call it your wellness, your well-being. if you wanted, you could tie in like spirituality into this area, although I like to tie it into the purpose area, because I believe that when we connect to our higher purpose, that is connecting to our spiritual life. So fill that out, whichever one works best for you. So purpose, relationships, and health. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at those three and pick one. Okay, you can go through all three on your own, but for the sake of time during this webinar, I want you to intuitively look at those, and you'll know what's kind of feeling off, what's not feeling blissful in your life, or which area you want to enhance and awaken your bliss further in. You'll know. So pick one of those areas. What is it for you? Is it your purpose, your relationships, or your health, wellness, whatever you want to call it? Like, which of those is not feeling so blissful for you right now? And even if your life is great, here's something that I also tell my clients a lot, because sometimes they'll come to me where, we're having really great experience in their coaching, and they're just like, rock stars. Like, everything's great. They're practicing their self-care. They're opening up to that bliss in their life, and we'll get on a coaching call and they'll kind of say like, well, Jess, I don't know what I need to work on because everything's so great. And it's almost like we're afraid to take a look at the stuff that we'd like to be just a little sweeter. Do you know what I mean? So I talk a lot about your ability to like receive and open. So maybe this is you. Maybe your life is really awesome right now, right? And we want to be grateful for that. And we also don't want to hold ourselves back from hitting like an upper limit, right? Have you heard of the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks? He talks about this upper limiting where we come to a place where maybe we have the best relationship. We have the most amazing job. We are just, soaring high. And we come to this place where we actually don't think that it can get a little sweeter, a little more blissful, a little more expansive, where you're receiving more in your life, right? It's like we feel guilty for even wanting a little bit more. But here's the thing. You deserve exactly what you desire. You deserve all the bliss that you're longing for. And we tend to feel bad about it. So right now, let that go. If you're feeling great in your purpose, in your relationships, in your health, and you're like, Jess, there's no more for me. I'm doing awesome. And I don't want to like be not grateful for those areas. Here's what I'd say to you. Tap into your heart, maybe your belly, right? Your belly is really where desires lie. And ask yourself, which of these am I longing to feel even more bliss in? And right now, tell yourself it's okay, because we're going to be, creating a mantra that will help you know that it's okay and remind yourself each and every day. But right now, I just want you to move through this with me. So choose one of those areas. Now, what I'm going to have you do is once you've got that area, let's say it's relationships, because for me, that's what it is. It's relationships. You're going to take that area and you're going to write down just like all the stuff that you're not loving about your relationships right now. Okay. So for me, it's my love life, right? Like I don't have a love life right now. I don't have a partner, and I'm longing for that. I love being in romantic partnerships. So for me, I would take relationships and I'd start writing down things like, I don't love that I feel lonely. I really miss that having the support of a man to talk to about my business. I really miss the physical touch of being with someone. So just like all those things that like are not so great right now that you either miss or kind of suck, just like let it all go. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes to do that right now. And I'm actually going to put on some nice music that will hopefully be enjoyable for you to do that. Just a few more seconds. Just get it all out. Write everything down that feels kind of shitty about that area of your life that you'd like to improve. And I really encourage you, don't feel bad about this. These are your feelings. It's okay. Okay, so hopefully you got some good stuff out, really noticing, where do you want more bliss in your life? Like what feels really kind of cruddy? And then what we're gonna do is take a look at those things that you wrote down in that area of your life and maybe circle like 3 of them. Like what are the things that feel really tender that you'd like to feel more bliss around in your purpose, in your relationships, in your health? Choose 3 that feel really tender. If you don't have 3, just go with whatever one you have. And then here's what we're going to do. So you know what you don't want, right? Like these are the things that don't feel great. Take a look at those 3 things. And now we're going to do something that Abraham Hicks, so if you have heard of, is it Gary and Esther Hicks? Oh, Jerry and Esther Hicks. One of them like channels Abraham, and they get all this great information, right? So they talk about this concept of pivoting. So we know very well what we don't want, but when we focus on that, we could even say something like, say you chose health. I don't want to be sick all the time. Okay, that's great, but you're still not saying what you do want. So essentially what they teach, which I think is genius because we don't think this way. Essentially what you're saying when you say you don't want to be when you don't want to be sick, you're still focusing on the sick part, right? So essentially you're kind of like telling the universe, bring me more sickness. Like that's what I'm focusing my attention on. Okay, it takes a little bit of like a mind shift to really get that. So I hope that makes sense to you because it does for me. So what we're going to do instead of focusing, you say, I don't want to be sick all the time. We're going to turn the other way. And we're going to say, okay, now that I know what I don't want, what do I actually want? So maybe for you, it's, I want to be so vibrantly healthy. I want to feel radiant. I want to be energized, alive. So here I caught myself. I was going to say free from disease. But no, that's focusing again on the disease, right? Like, so what's the opposite of that is I want my body to be in perfect harmony. Do you see how that's different? So take a look at what you wrote down and then shift it to what you do want. And I would encourage you to focus on like the feeling around it, right? So I'd said maybe you don't want to be sick all the time. When you shift that, saying like I want to feel radiant. That's a feeling, right? Like we know what that feels like in our body. So just examine when you shift and you state what you do want in your life. And by the way, these things will help you experience bliss, right? Like feeling is bliss, that you are able to really feel it in your body. So test that out. Let me know if you guys have any questions around this as I'm going through. Okay, so write down, you've got your 3 things, write down what you do want. So what would be like the opposite, right? The pivoting of the feelings that you want to welcome in your life in this area. Okay, so you maybe have 3, maybe there's even multiple feelings to each thing that is not feeling so blissful. Whatever it is, just like write those down. And again, I'll give you just a few moments. We'll do like 30 seconds on this one. So I'll play some music for you. All right, so wrapping up. So hopefully you have some awesome things, ways that you want to feel. And here's what we're going to do. This is really fun. This is where you get to create your mantra, right? You get to actually like put it into this formula that I've created. And by the way, before I share kind of the like structure that I've created for this Bliss mantra, know that you don't have to take mine. You can create your own. Maybe you just got this amazing one that came through you while you're looking at this area of your life and what you don't love and what you do want to bring in to experience more bliss. Like, feel free, give yourself permission to shed that should of having to do what I'm going to suggest and do your own thing. And if it feels easier, more blissful to just use what I've created, awesome, because I created it for you. Either way, make it feel good. So here's what I want you to write down on your piece of paper. I want you to write down, I am experiencing bliss. I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving. You can say the feeling of blank. Or you don't have to have the feeling of. Sometimes it depends on like what words you use to make it sound right. I'm very into language, so that's what I used to do in my corporate career, was write emails and edit and all that good stuff. So I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving blank. Okay? Or receiving the feelings of. It's up to you. Take a look at what works for you. Blank. So in that blank, okay, well, let's do the structure first. Blank. And then it says, in my blank. So that's like the area of your life. In my blank. So let me say that again, because that was kind of messy. I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving blank in my blank. So that final blank is going to be the area of your life. So let me share mine with you. I'm opening up to receiving pure acceptance, adoration, devotion in my love life. Okay? So yours might be, maybe let's go with the health again, because that feels pretty prominent. I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving a radiant, energized, beautiful body in my health. Sounds kind of funky, but you can tweak it, right? So I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving radiance, energy, life force in my health or in my wellness, whatever it is for you, that area of your life. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So let me know if you guys have questions. So that's your mantra. I would love to hear if you would like to share. I'd love to hear in the chat box what you came up with. So again, remember, like I'll just give you another example just to ground this in. Mine was, I wasn't loving how I was feeling lonely and like really missing connection in my life, in my romantic relationship, in my love life area. So mine was, I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving pure acceptance, adoration, devotion in my love life. Okay, do you see where that's calling in, that's awakening my bliss to remind myself that I'm worth it. I'm worth it because I am experiencing bliss by opening myself up to these feelings that are blissful in this area of my life, my love life, that's not feeling so blissful right now. So what you can do once you have your bliss mantra is, first of all, write it down. Like, it's really good to write it down, like, fully, maybe on a beautiful piece of paper so that it feels good. Or I know some people will put stuff on sticky notes and put it on their mirror in the bathroom so that they see it every day. So that's a great tip. Put it somewhere that you're going to see it every day. And I have some suggestions of ways that you can use this bliss mantra so that you are using it throughout this experience, the Awaken Your Bali Bliss experience, to continue opening to bliss, and hopefully, past that. So let's talk about those ways. The ways that you can use. I find that my mantras, like I teach about me time mantras. This is a bliss mantra. They're similar, but this one's really focused on opening up to bliss and receiving that bliss in your life. I find that when you do something along with something that feels special, along with saying your mantra out loud, it really helps create a special ritual around it, which enlarges, like expands that receiving energy. It's like you telling the universe, I'm taking just a couple minutes to do this because it's important to me. So you better pay attention because I really want this, right? And it's you like opening that space in your heart to receive it, right? To remind yourself that you're worth it. So if you are afraid that you don't have any time, I mean, this one's super easy because it literally, you could just say the mantra out loud and it takes, a couple seconds. But make sure to go and get that checklist, the blissful checklist to banish busy that I created for you, because in it, I share with you how to make time for these small moments of me time. If you can find that in your email, but just real quick, I'll tell you how to find it just by going to your internet browser. If you type in bit.ly/bliss checklist, you can download it straight from there. Okay, so here's some ways that you can use your bliss mantra that are kind of fun. You can light a candle and say it. So for me, I would light a candle and I would say, as I'm lighting it, I'm experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving pure acceptance, adoration, devotion in my love life. Do you see where that's really powerful? And then lighting the flame. I talk about how the physical flame represents our inner radiance. So it's that bliss inside of you that's longing to come out. So when you are pairing these two together, you can look into the flame and know that that is your inner radiance, your bliss being lit on fire, right? Like activating. So that's one way. Light a candle and say it. You can also put your hands on your heart. This is a really precious one. So, I'm experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving pure acceptance, adoration, devotion in my love life. So just taking a moment, right? Another way that you can use it is any time that kind of icky feelings come up throughout your day. And, maybe it's specific to that area of your life that it's not doing so well. So maybe it's your health that's frustrating you and you're not feeling blissful in. And maybe you got like the sniffles right now and you're just feeling a little drained. You can stop, in your moment of like, oh, this sucks, right? And it does. We want to acknowledge that it does suck, but we want to get you in the space where you're open to receiving health and wellness. So you could stop, put your hands on your heart, or just say, I am experiencing bliss by opening up to receiving radiance, energy, healing, vitality in my health. See? Okay, cool. So that's another one whenever something comes up that doesn't feel so blissful. The last suggestion I have for you of how to use your bliss mantra is in the shower. This is my favorite place to do my mantra besides lighting the candle. I actually do all of these, but daily, one of my my rituals, my me time rituals, for the past like 4 years, I want to say, has been saying a mantra in the shower. And I say that same mantra every single day. And you can too. So you can take this Bliss mantra that you just created, and while you're in the shower, you can, what I like to do, it's kind of fun, is spray some essential oils, take a deep breath, close my eyes, put my hands on my heart, and say the mantra. Okay, and one thing that I'll mention is that water is really powerful. It's transformative, right? Like water adapts and it flows and it washes away what we don't want, and it's a transformative element. So in Bali, we actually go to a holy water springs temple, and we bathe like the locals do in these sacred fountains to release. And while I was there, actually, when I was doing it, I just naturally set an intention under each fountain. There's like 13 fountains. And I just said what I wanted to call into my life for this coming year. And so the shower, right? You don't have to come to Bali with me. It'd be cool if you were interested in that, and like super powerful there, that's for sure. But hey, you can go in the shower and you can do this and use the water, the powerful transformational water, and say your mantra. Okay. Another little just fun tip, essential oils. So I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but if you'd like to start with some peppermint oil or lavender, those are kind of the two. Like if you don't want to get a whole bunch and you're just looking to kind of start into essential oils, so you could use those in your shower by mixing it with a little bit of filtered water, and that's it. You can put like a little bit of sea salt in there too to like help disperse the oils. But yeah, and then you just spray it around. So there we go. That is this webinar. Easy breezy, right? Like not too hard. I hope that you really liked it, and I hope you enjoy your Bliss mantra. I'm curious if there are any questions. Feel free to let me know right now and chime into the chat box. I'm happy to hang out and answer anything that you might be struggling with, or maybe you're not quite sure about how your mantra is coming together, or yeah, just let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. And while you do that, I'll just say that I'm really looking forward to the next few days of the Awaken Your Bali Bliss experience. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. If you are new to the experience, I hope you enjoy the rest of it. We've still got quite a few days left. It's 9 total days. So yeah, and then if you have any questions, the best place to ask me would be to join the Me Time Movement Facebook group. If you just go to facebook.com and type that in, or you can actually go to facebook.com/groups/Me Time Matters. That is the Facebook group, and ask me a question in there, and I'll be happy to respond. If for some reason the question's a little bit personal, or maybe you have a question about Bali, you can email me at jessica@jessicatomlinson.com. So I'm just going to put these URLs that I've been mentioning in the chat box so that you have a little bit of time to think about if you have any questions. Join the Awaken Your Bali Bliss experience. bit.ly/awaken bliss. There's that one. Download the blissful checklist to banish busy. bit.ly/bliss checklist. There's that. What other links? Oh yeah, if you're interested in Bali, the radiancerecharge.com. There's more information there. Also, pretty cool video that I created. Holly retreat. There we go. And then also the Me Time Movement Facebook group. And that is facebook.com/groups/me time matters. Okay, cool. All right, loves. Well, I hope you enjoyed today. Again, hope to see you back. I have a few more fun Bliss bonuses coming up throughout the series, so be sure to keep your eyes peeled in your email, and I'll be letting you know what is coming. All right. Mwah. Have a blissful rest of your day and enjoy your Bliss mantra. Bye, y'all.